Telly Addicts.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Telly Addicts podcast. I am your host once again, Jeffrey Gibson, and this month I am going to be discussing the fucking amazing TV show Afterlife by Ricky Gervais, and I am going to start by discussing season 1, so let's begin. Ricky Gervais's Afterlife is a stunning, raw and incredibly emotional series, one that taps into some seriously deep issues in a well-written and comedic way. This came out a few months before my granddad died in 2019, and when my granddad died, I honestly didn't know how to process it. And I think that is why I connected so strongly with Tony, as Tony too was struggling with grief. And when season 3 dropped this year, it helped me process the deaths of my gran, auntie and uncle who died last year. And I must tell you, if it wasn't for Afterlife putting life in perspective, I don't know where I will be. Afterlife revolves around the before-mentioned grieving husband Tony, whose life has come crashing down around him since his wife died unexpectedly of cancer. Angry at the world, Tony lives life on his terms, offending everyone he can and whipping up a whirlwind of chaos everywhere he goes in an attempt to stave off the pain he's experiencing. After introducing us to a range of colorful characters, Tony projects his pain and thoughts on the world through these people, discussing religion, suicide and life's purpose in a dark, sarcastic manner. Now, in true Ricky Gervais style, a lot of the jokes here revolve around observations he's already made before and sticks close to the deadpan style of sarcasm he's done in many other shows and films before. However, the balance between comedy and heartfelt drama is really what helps set this one apart, and for every laugh-out-loud moment, there's an equally emotional and heartfelt one. Going into this one expecting an outright comedy, you'll likely be left disappointed, but as a dramedy, Afterlife works really well. Most of the episodes follow a pretty rigid formula, revolving around repetitive sets and characters, helping to give a sense of progression through the series as Tony deals with his grief. Whether it be amusing jibes at Pate the Postman, doing drugs with Julian, or discussing death with a fellow widower, these individual moments all add up to produce one beautifully written dark comedy. There's a great use of music throughout the series too, and these songs, especially given the lyrical meaning, are impressively placed throughout the show. One moment early on sees Tony doing heroin, and whilst on a high, Rocketman by Elton John plays. One particular segment of that song reflects, "I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife," and it's these tiny little moments that really add some shine to an already beautiful show. Along with the decent writing is an all-star cast of British actors that do a great job fleshing out their personas. From the quiet genius of David Bradley through to the dry humor of Paul Kaye and Joe Wilkinson, everyone does a really good job bringing their respective characters to life. At the end of the day, everyone struggles in life, some are just better at riding that storm than others. Afterlife is a beautifully written, feel-good dramedy that showcases this perfectly. It's a consistently moving, emotionally charged show about dealing with grief and sticking with the ones closest to you no matter what. It's not the most original storyline, but it is one that hit me on a really personal level. It may not be the laugh-out-loud comedy some may be expecting, but Afterlife transcends beyond that to deliver something incredibly profound and beautiful. The only things I didn't like about After are the characters Ratty and the Nons. They had absolutely no redeeming qualities at all, but I guess that's a good thing, because some people in life don't have redeeming qualities, and the fact of life is that some people are just absolute twats who will never change. Now it's time to mark Afterlife, and to do this I am going to mark the writing, acting, music, directing and execution, and for the writing I am going to give this 8 out of 10. The acting has to be a 9 because every cast member brought their best, especially Ricky Gervais, who blew me away in Tony's most emotional scenes. For the music a solid 7, because the songs fitted perfectly. The directing I am going to give a 7, and for the execution I am going to give full marks 10 out of 10, because the show worked perfectly. Well folks, I am going to bring this episode to a close. I do hope you have enjoyed listening to what I have had to say. I will be back sometime next month with another episode, so until then, thank you so much for listening. Stay safe and happy viewing.
Telly Addicts.